I felt so stupid growing up. I felt just like a fully, like an alien.
Aisha Madden launched into the spotlight and the hearts of teens around the world as the vivacious lead of Heartbreak High, the Netflix global success now in its second season. But off-season, she's been making music in her grandma's garage, performing at the Logies, and working on an EP that reflects some quite tumultuous years of her mental health. And there is so much more to Aisha Madden.
Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
You play Amory in Heartbreak High.
Oh my God.
How does that experience compare to your own school experience?
Yeah, it was quite different. I think my schooling experience, I never really did drugs or smoked or had sex. And one of the things like that led to my low self-esteem was like being a person of colour in Australia. Growing up in white society, it definitely has an impact on your psyche, and like it had quite a big impact on like my confidence and like how I saw myself in the world. And I think it's been so awesome playing Amory because I feel like Amory doesn't have the insecurities that I had growing up. I was so self-aware, and so I filtered myself and I monitored myself. And what I love about Amory is that she doesn't have that like kind of wounded thing that I think a lot of people of colour in this country have.
Listen, you mayonnaise, what is your problem with me?
Playing a role that's nothing like that has been really nice and healing.
I read that your family's religion, you just didn't feel like you could talk about it at school.
Yeah, so my family's Zoroastrian, which is like the oldest monotheistic religion in the world. No one really knows about it though, because it's so, because the religion doesn't convert people. I'm agnostic now, I would say. But I loved growing up with religion, like even having like something to go to when I feel like praying or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I find myself praying when I'm freaking out about something.
Totally.
And even though I don't feel spiritual, I find it so grounding and reassuring.
Yes.
Which is strange.
100%. You know what? I actually went through a period of time where I thought I was an atheist. But then if I was in a really bad place, like I would still always revert back to that meditation of praying. So I guess, yeah, I was never really atheist in that sense. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. There's this story that my dad tells me that he was lying in bed one night and just stressing like how he was going to get us through school. They bought this really shitty like catering company and they built it from the ground up, and they didn't even know how to cook. Like they just made it work.
So your sister is also in musical
Yeah,
theatre.
I know.
So your lounge room, like was it filled with performances as a kid?
I mean, yeah, even my brother, like we were a very loud house. We all played instruments, and my mum's dream was for all of us to start a band, which never happened. It's still her dream. She still brings it up, but yeah, it was a loud household. When I die, I want my ash to be shot out of a confetti cannon.
Congrats on Eulogy. And tell me like how it came together.
I set up a studio in my grandma's garage after we wrapped on season 2. I feel like when I get a good idea, or when I get an idea that I'm excited about, it will follow me into the shower, to the shops. I do feel like the best songs just kind of happen.
You know, you've spoken about anxieties and like your passion and stuff. Do you find either music or like writing music and being in that zone heals the anxieties or does something with the anxiety?
Yeah, I think a lot of my music and a lot of this EP is about my life experiences through the lens of my mental health. Like, I've had quite a tumultuous few years with my mental health. I would sometimes just let myself unravel.
More than an actress, more than successes, failures and body count.
I guess music has been a real healing part of my journey, and I think this EP has been a kind of a nice like level of closure on that chapter of my life, and yeah.
She don't.
And you discovered that you were neurodivergent.
Yeah, I mean, since I was little, everyone's been like, oh, joked about me having ADHD, which I thought ended there at the joke. But ever since I was little, I just hit these points of like hyper focus of getting things done and then sitting down for 8 hours and not studying at all. Because I felt so stupid growing up. I felt so different and so like, what am I not getting? I felt like just like a fully, like an alien. I think everything kind of makes sense now. Like I'm, for me at least, I'm quite careful not to define myself too heavily by that because, you know, brains are a spectrum. But it's been really useful to know, and yeah, I just love the way my brain works.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. It means
Thank
a lot
you.
to chat with you.
I know, likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
He don't love me, no.